Welcome back to Leah's Leaves. So I have a fun update for you. Finally, some good news. Good news! Good news. After the last video where I showed that all of my trees are gone and my little cabin is no longer a cabin in the woods, it's just a cabin on the side of a highway. However, the good news is I've tried to give peanuts a chance. The first year I grew them was my last year in Virginia, and they came up and I thought they were a weed. I did not know what the plants were, and I pulled them. And then I did more research in the off season, went, oh crud, look what I did, oh shoot. So I tried them again my first year here in Pennsylvania in my shaded garden, because that pine grove was here. The apple orchard that used to be behind me that's no longer there. See all those Christmas trees back there? You're not supposed to see those. But the natural gas line came and took the apple trees down too. What that means though is that for the last month and a half of my growing season, the peanut plants had sunlight enough to push them through to the end of a season. So my first year here, they got shaded out, did not do well. My second year here, I didn't even try them. And then this past year was my third season. And I planted them early. I started them in March so that they'd already be 8 weeks along when I planted them out at the end of May, hoping that that was enough of a head start that I'd get a ripe crop. So I want to show you what I dug up today. It's just a little baby crop, but keep in mind they were really for most of the season. But we've had our first freeze, and I read online that afterward I could pull them up within a day or two of the freeze so they don't get moist and rot. They are beautiful. There's not a lot of them, but that's okay, because this year those trees are gone, and now I know that my timing was good, and now we have sunlight, and so I'm completely confident that in 2025 I can finally have like a proper crop of homegrown peanuts. The other thing is these were Virginia peanuts, which are my favorite ones to eat, but they're bred for Virginia. I live in Pennsylvania, much further north and in a colder climate, so I got a bug on my hand. But I recently found a seed distributor in Michigan who grows a variety, I'll put the name in the description, I forget it off the top of my head, that is bred for cooler climates. So I'm going to purchase 1 pack of those, plant out the pack in this 3x5 raised bed, and I'm going to plant some more of these Virginia peanuts as well. And I'm going to try to plant I'll plant a couple of the ones I just grew, seeing as they're now 1 season into being acclimated to this environment. Let me show you one more thing before I part. That is that last year my garden bed was excavated for a natural gas line repair. This year they came and did the trees, and so I didn't plant in this area. But when they planted the trees, when they cut the trees, they left all of that beautifully chipped wood. And I got 2 full piles of it. So now I am amending a larger plot than was here before. Before, the garden was only, I want to say 10 by 14. When this is all done, it'll be like 15 by 15 no-till above ground lasagna garden, plus the 2 raised beds I already have, and 1 more raised bed, and the 2 bins that my friend Keith made for me, barrel bins that worked great this year. Thank you, Keith. I grew flowers, peppers, watermelon, and a tomato, and some flowers in those 2 bins. And then I have this cattle panel trellis on T-posts, and I'm going to add 1 more right where that wheelbarrow is, on that edge of the same garden plot, so that they'll get south and west facing sun. And then my green stalk did really well this year. I still have some Swiss chard to harvest, and my lemon fizz dianthus looks like it wants to bloom again. It's a cold tolerant flower, so it might bloom. And then my cilantro is going to seed, so I'm going to harvest seeds from it. and eat the rest. Okay, anyway, so after 2 really rough years, the first year was rough too, just because of the sunlight problem. The apple orchard was to the east, the pine grove was to the west, and my neighbor's tree line was to the south. So it just, my uncle used to grow in this area when those trees were, 15, 20 years younger than they are now. So now they're just too big. But now that the natural gas line has come in, cut trees, I have so much more sunlight, especially west-facing sun. And there's just so much more that I can do here now. So I'm very excited. I'm energized about the 2025 season. After a couple years of feeling discouraged, I have a lot of optimism coming into it. Anyway, so I'm going to get back to laying some wood chips. I got sidetracked. That's what I was about to tell you, is that I'm laying the newspaper and cardboard down and some spent soil. I emptied spent soil out of containers that just need fluffed up anyway. That's all laid, and now the wood mulch is going down layer by layer. And the leaves too. We're having leaves. I can come out to my neighbor's house and rake leaves and spread leaves. So we have leaves, wood. I've got my browns, my greens, layer upon layer. And this is just something I'm going to work at those wood chip piles off and on for the next 5 months, basically. And build a brand new above ground no-till garden bed. I'm learning a lot, sharing it here. I hope you come grow with me. And before I leave, I'll introduce you to the latest additions to my family. Not sure if you met Bridget yet. Bridget was rescued from a friend's property. And then Biscuits and Gravy are over here. Hi, Gravy. That's Biscuits. He's the boy. They were at a park where Holly and I walk and had been dropped off and abandoned. That's Gravy. She's the girl. So they're living here now. Have a great day. God bless you.